Part 11. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 101. Upon hearing Qin Feng's words, Qi Mu's eyes burst out with murderous intent. On his body, there are rays of golden light lingering, like a god descending to earth. Are you talking to me? Qi Mu's voice was so cold that even the 10 geniuses who had entered the Holy Realm could not block his blow. The arrogant boy in front of him is only at the 7th level of the Lingtai realm. Where does he get this confidence? Do you think there's anyone else? Qin Feng sneered. He looked at Qi Mu calmly, exuding strong confidence. Sword King Qi Mu possesses the 5th level of divine strength, which is enough to surpass all the masters here, but Qin Feng is not included. Qin Feng is currently in the 7th stage of the Lingtai, plus the 8 forbidden realms, 8 times the power is multiplied. What kind of Sword King is not enough? Cao, is this kid crazy? A mere monk at the 7th level of spiritual energy, do you really think you are a big deal? I went and witnessed 10 saintly geniuses being injured, and yet they dared to step forward. It's really courageous. I'm afraid you're not a fool. The other 3 teams of monks were all excited. They thought the boy must be crazy. With the cultivation level of the 7th level of Lingtai, if you dare to show off in front of the Sword King, you are definitely seeking death. None of the 3 groups of monks dared to take action, but they criticized Qin Feng for taking the initiative. A bunch of losers, you guys don't dare to take action. If I take action, are you so stupid? Qin Feng squinted at these people with a chill in his eyes. Boy, you are looking for death. The 3 teams of monks instantly became angry, and even the 7th level cultivators of Lingtai rushed to show off in front of them. Why is what I said wrong? You are a bunch of scoundrels. If you don't dare to do it, then don't force it. Qin Feng glanced at these people coldly. There was a strong oppressive force spreading around him, and he was not afraid. Get out. Otherwise I'll beat you all to death. A violent aura spread out from Qin Feng's body. His eyes swept around, and brilliant ripples appeared in the void, shocking them. Surrender or die, you have no other choice. Qin Feng's cold gaze glanced at Qi Mu. Qi Mu sneered. Qin Feng dared to take the initiative to provoke him, his violent momentum enveloped him, and the air was suddenly filled with murderous intent, making people shudder. Crack! Seeing that the other party was so ignorant, Qin Feng struck him with a palm, and a brilliant light appeared in the void, and the essence of the 10 directions surged out. Qi Mu didn't care at first, but when the palm wind came close to his body, his expression changed drastically. Qin Feng's palm was blessed by the 8 bands, and the red palm wind was released, and the sky trembled. Boom! Qi Mu fought back repeatedly, and the golden energy collided with the red palm wind. Sparks flew in the air, and terrifying lights danced. Qi Mu's golden energy was offset, but Qin Feng's red body did not dissipate, and continued to attack with devastating force. This scene immediately shocked Qi Mu. He ignored his support and waved the golden sword in his hand, displaying endless sword flowers. The remaining red palm wind finally dissipated. Hiss! Qi Mu took a deep breath and was extremely shocked. An unknown figure on the other side could actually resist his energy and still have the upper hand. It was really terrifying. Those monks who were clamoring just now should all shut up. Qin Feng suppressed Qi Mu, who was arrogant just now, with just 1 palm wind. This is too shocking. Who are you exactly? Qi Mu felt vigilant in his heart, and his earth-grade sword spread out wisps of golden light. As a mountain master from the mountains of Luo Valley, he was respected as the king of swordsmen, naturally because his swordsmanship was so superb that he had few opponents. Wandao, I am your ancestor. Compared with me, the difference between you and me is the difference between Yinghuo and Hao Yu. Qin Feng took a step forward. He looked down at Qi Mu from a high position, and his whole body overflowed with powerful aura. Everyone around was silent, and Chi Mu was suppressed by the wind of his palm. This was too cool. Sword King Chi Mu was naturally not angry. He let out a low growl in his throat. "Young man, try saying it again if you dare." Chi Mu is known as the King of Swords. The sword in his hand is a rare weapon in the entire Western region. Among the younger generation, he is even more invincible with the sword. The other party actually despised the art of swordsmanship on which he was famous, which made him extremely angry. "Tisk, tisk, I am your ancestor when playing with knives." Qin Feng said again with a smile. Since the other party has a masochistic constitution, he would naturally be happy to help him. "Okay. You're fine." Chi Mu was completely angry. There was a cold light in his eyes, and he said viciously, "I will let you know in a moment what is the ancestor who plays with swords." Brush. A golden sword light struck the sky, the void was twisting, and the golden sword light seemed to split the sky. Facing the slashing sword light, Qin Feng remained motionless, but a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, extremely calm and calm. "Damn it, is this too much of a pretense? You must have been frightened, right?" Many monks were confused. Faced with such a terrifying golden sword light, no one present could stop it. But the other party stood motionless and refused to dodge. He was definitely looking for death. The fierce sword light filled the void, and it slashed hard at Qin Feng's body, sending out a deafening sound wave. Dang glang glang. The metal vibrating sound spread, and ripples appeared in the void. When the light came up, everyone was stunned. They thought Qin Feng would be cut in half by this attack, but they never thought that the opponent was unscathed. "Oh my God, what's going on?" He took the blow of the Sword King and was unscathed. "Am I dazzled?" Countless people were surprised and took a deep breath. This young man was too scary, and they were just sneering at him. They were just frogs in the well. At the same time, Chi Mu was also stunned. His weapon was a ground-grade weapon, which was enough to destroy any spiritual cultivator. Even the Vajra body refiner who entered the Saint realm did not dare to fight with his body. And now, his moves were like chopping on a piece of divine gold, and he was unscathed. This is impossible. Chi Mu's face was very ugly. He was the master of the Luo ancient mountains, but he couldn't even break the defense of a mere spiritual cultivator of the 7th stage. If this spread out, how could he survive in the mountains of Luo Valley in the future? "Boy, who are you?" Chi Mu took a step forward, his eyes showing a cold look. The other party was so strong, he definitely couldn't be an unknown person. If you know the other party's name, you may know the other party's martial arts moves. Qin Feng was suspended in the air, with a faint smile on his face. He looked at the other party and said, "Listen to me, grandson. Your grandfather will not change his name or surname. He is the Lord of Tianqian sect, Qin Feng." "Lord of Tianqian sect? What Tianqian sect?" Chi Mu was confused. He had never heard of Tianqian section. Suddenly, he reacted and yelled, "Boy, you are looking for death." Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbs feed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 102. Qin Feng put his hands behind his back, with a faint smile on his face. "My dear grandson, be good to the firefly of the past." Qin Feng raised his hand and took out his earth-grade sword. When the sword came out, it spread endless light and was fierce. "The sword is good, but it will be mine in the next moment." Chi Mu sneered, his steps were mysterious, leaving a trail of after-images on the spot, and he instantly sacrificed the golden sword in his hand. The golden sword was surrounded by endless sword energy, bursting out with terrifying destructive power. Pierce through with one sword. The Earth-grade martial arts were swung out, the void was collapsing, and the terrible pressure enveloped the hearts of everyone present, and they all had an invincible heart. The hearts of the three teams of monks were all trembling wildly, and they all felt short of breath, as if falling into an ice cellar. At this moment, the sword light between heaven and earth seemed to have become the only one that would penetrate this small world. What a terrible Deo sword, I definitely can't stop it. This sword is too strong, no matter how strong the opponent's body is, I'm afraid it can't be stopped. Alas, this young man is definitely a child of destiny, it's a pity that he met Chi Mu. The cultivators present were all very sorry, they almost didn't believe that Qin Feng could escape from this attack. Chi Mu's anger was naturally powerful, and there were few opponents for the cultivators who entered the Holy Realm. Qian Kun Sun Moon. Qin Feng lightly blew out an innate aura in front of him, which permeated the sky above the Hualong Pond. With the blessing of the 8 forbidden fields, the momentum of the sword rushed into the sky, making people unable to breathe. Those cultivators couldn't help but have negative emotions in their hearts. Qin Feng's sword was stronger. Qi La. Qin Feng slashed with the sword, the power was unimaginable for ordinary people, a 10-foot-long sword light blasted towards Qi Mu. Qi Mu's cultivation was stronger and his momentum was stronger. He thought his sword was invincible. This knife, which contained his ultimate attack, was extremely powerful. He did not believe that he would fail. However, with the Azura Phoenix in hand, Qin Feng's momentum was even stronger and unparalleled in the world. With one knife, the universe, the sun, and the moon shook. The Azura Phoenix cut through the void and wiped out Qi Mu's piercing knife. Puff. Under the blessing of the 8 forbidden domain, Qi Mu was directly chopped by the Azura Phoenix, his flesh and blood were blurred, extremely miserable. There was silence all around, and everyone opened their eyes wide, unbelievable. Qi Mu, the Sword King, was only at the 5th stage of entering the Saint, but he was definitely the top existence on the scene. Just now, the 10 great prodigies made a move and were defeated in one move. In the hearts of the surrounding cultivators, Qi Mu was an invincible existence that could not be defeated. However, at this moment, Qi Mu's chest was cut with a very deep wound, and you can see that his internal organs are beating. The surrounding cultivators all took a breath and were extremely shocked. Many people suspected that they were dazzled. Is a cultivator who has entered the 5th stage of sainthood so rubbish? Ah! I will kill you. Qi Mu was lying on the ground. He opened his mouth and swallowed countless pills, biting them like chewing candy beans. In a flash, he stopped bleeding and climbed up, with a murderous look in his eyes. Qin Feng, no matter who you are, you will die today. Qi Mu said coldly. Since he entered the Dao of the sword, this was the first time he had suffered such a heavy blow. He was injured in his invincible field, which made him unacceptable. Roar! Qi Mu suddenly roared, and then golden light bloomed on his body. As time passed, the wound on Qi Mu's chest healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a few breaths, his wounds were completely healed. This guy must have swallowed a heaven-level pill. Qin Feng said to himself. He just watched the other party heal quietly, with no intention of taking action at all. He disdains to take advantage of others' misfortunes, and he also wants to defeat the people around him in the field of the opponent's swordsmanship and convince them. After all, Qin Feng thinks that he is not a demon, and killing Qi Mu is enough. As for the other cats and dogs, they can be completely frightened so that they dare not have any evil intentions. As Qi Mu stood up, he changed a lot. At this moment, the hair around his body was growing wildly, and he turned into a black-haired gorilla in the blink of an eye. But what is more shocking is that his limbs are covered with black scales, which is extremely terrifying. God ape physique. the Sword King Chi Mu actually has a mutated physique. People looked at the mutated Chi Mu, and they were all shocked and shocked. This god ape physique is comparable to a god body, very powerful, and has divine power. I admit that I underestimated you just now. You really can't be careless. Chi Mu showed a cold smile at the corner of his mouth. In his eyes, bursts of cold electricity burst out. His aura surged, and his physique doubled in size. A violent pressure was released, and Chi Mu's physical blood rushed into the sky, piercing through a series of air columns. Divine Ape Deo Sword, Chi Mu shouted loudly, and then the golden sword in front of him instantly turned black and floated in the air. Chi Mu's battle sword actually had a magic weapon attribute, and 8 black sword marks appeared in front of him. The black sword shadows gathered together to form a terrible storm with the power to destroy the world. When the Divine Ape Deo sword was used, Chi Mu's eyes showed a look of victory. This was his strongest sword. Swish, swish, swish. The sword shadow floated in the air, turned into black lightning, and appeared in front of Qin Feng in an instant, slashing out. 8 sword lights that shook the heaven and earth appeared between heaven and earth, all slashing towards Qin Feng. The 10 directions trembled, and the universe shook. God King! Shura! Qin Feng suddenly shouted, and the God King vision and Shura vision appeared on his body. The God King vision and Shura vision all covered him, and under the blessing of the 8 forbidden fields, they turned into a huge light shield. Boom, boom, boom. 8 sword lights all shattered on Qin Feng's body, and then Qin Feng's 2 visions also dissipated with the wind. The next moment, Qin Feng slashed with a sword, and under the blessing of the 8 forbidden fields, a sword light dozens of feet long appeared in the void. The heaven and earth trembled, and the spirit of the small world boiled. When the light mist dissipated, the earth cracked, and a gully of more than 50 feet appeared, extending all the way out. Chi Mu's body was cut in 2 by a sword and fell into the ditch, deader than dead. Chi Mu's earth-grade sword was also cut into 2 pieces by Qin Feng. With a wave of Qin Feng's hand, the broken sword appeared in Qin Feng's palm. Swish! Under Qin Feng's control, the Suzaku Divine Flame appeared in front of him, and the Suzaku Divine Flame burned with extreme intent. However, in a breath, the broken sword turned into molten iron, and then under Qin's control, it merged with his own Divine Phoenix. The next moment, the Shura Divine Phoenix sword spread a murderous aura that rushed to the sky, and then the system's prompt sound came. Ding! Congratulations to the host for upgrading the weapon. The Earth-grade Upper Shura Divine Phoenix sword has been upgraded to the Heaven-grade Lower Shura Divine Phoenix. All this made Qin Feng very satisfied. He just wanted to try it casually, but he didn't expect it to be upgraded. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 103. The Shura Divine Phoenix sword flows with dark red light and is made like a blood diamond. It is densely covered with golden markings, like a divine phoenix about to spread its wings and fly high. It is powerful and beautiful. Qin Feng killed Sword King Chi Mu, and a platinum scratch-off card appeared on the spot. He stepped forward and picked up the platinum scratch-off card. Ding! Congratulations to the host who successfully scratched the card using platinum and obtained the low-level martial skill 1000 miles of divine movement. Thousands of miles away, it can fly for long periods of time, and its speed is as fast as lightning. This seems to be worse than teleportation, but the biggest disadvantage of teleportation is that the range is too small, and 1000 miles of divine movement just makes up for this shortcoming. Qin Feng stood on the edge of the Hualong Pond. He glanced at all the monks around him. Here, the scene was quiet, and everyone was stunned. The Sword King Chi Mu died just like that, under Qin Feng's sword. The three groups of monks around were extremely shocked when they saw Qin Feng coming to the entrance of Hualong Pond. Qin Feng glanced at the monks around him with cold eyes. Facing so many holy masters, he felt comfortable and fearless. I will give you a chance now. As long as you challenge me and beat me, I will allow you to enter the dragon pool. Qin Feng's cold voice sounded, if you want to enter the Hualong Pond, you must speak with your strength. He defeated the strongest Qi Mu, so he is naturally qualified to own the Hualong Pond. The monks in the other three teams all looked at each other with confusion in their hearts. They did not dare to fight Qin Feng. The corners of Qin Feng's mouth curved in a cold arc, and he said, since you don't have the guts to challenge me, then stay away from the dragon transformation pond. Countless monks cast envious glances at Qin Feng, and they also wanted to enter the Hualong Pond. Especially the first monk to enter the Hualong Pond will get great benefits. Of course, they can only be envious, because none of them dare to fight Qin Feng. Qin Feng's performance just now was like a god descending to earth, unstoppable, and made them feel invincible. Seeing that the monks around him were motionless, Qin Feng waved to Long Ma, Zhou Qing Lin Ziyi, and others. They instantly rose into the air and came to Qin Feng's side. This scene immediately made the three pairs of monks around them jealous. The other party in the legendary dragon transformation pond actually wanted their divine pet to evolve together with their followers. This not only makes them envious, but also makes them jealous, angry, and all kinds of emotions arise spontaneously. It's just that Hualong Pond is in Qin Feng's pocket. They don't dare to fight against it and can only stay behind. Frustration arose in the hearts of countless people. Some people were not angry in their hearts, but anger naturally showed on their faces. Why do you have any objections? Qin Feng glanced around with his cold eyes. He was a high mountain standing in front of these people, insurmountable. No, no. Those three pairs of monks all dared to be angry but dare not speak out, and they denied it again and again. Qin Feng's friends and female companions, all of them have benefited from Qin Feng's glory and can enter the Hualong Pond. This means that one person can achieve enlightenment, and chickens and dogs can ascend to heaven. And they are just passers-by. If they anger the evil star Qin Feng, it is unknown whether they can escape from the small world alive. Suddenly, a monk knelt down with a pop sound. She was one of the only female monks here. She could reach the realm of sainthood at a young age, which showed that she had good qualifications. Sir, I am willing to follow you. As long as you can let me enter the Hualong Pond, I am willing to pay any price. The female monk has charming eyes, undulating peaks on her chest, and a very hot figure. Her intention is very obvious. As long as she can enter the Hualong Pond, she is willing to commit herself to Qin Feng. The surrounding monks did not laugh at each other after hearing this. As long as they could enter the Hualong Pond and complete the brilliant transformation, what did it mean to pay some price? They were very envious that they were not born as girls. I'm not interested. You can come over after my people have evolved. Qin Feng refused directly, and the female monk's eyes dimmed instantly. The other party was not moved at all, but it was also true that none of the girls around the other party were beautiful and fragrant, and there was no shortage of him. Thump. At this time, a young man who had entered the holy realm knelt down and said, Sir, I can cook, warm beds, and do everything. I am willing to be your little brother. What do you mean? Qin Feng frowned, is there something wrong with this guy? Sir, if you don't like Miss Lu, don't you like men? Go away. Damn it, I only like beautiful women. Qin Feng suddenly felt aversion to cold. What the hell is this? His voice was filled with murderous intent, which immediately silenced the monks around him, not daring to make any more decisions. As Qin Feng flew up, he was the first to enter the Hualong Pond. Buzz. In the dragon transformation pond, boundless energy surged, and countless runes and divine clouds all gathered towards Qin Feng's body. But the next moment, something unbelievable happened. Those rune essences were all blocked by Qin Feng's demeanor and could not be absorbed at all. What's going on? Some people were very confused because they had never heard of such a scene. Is it because the opponent's own bloodline is extremely strong and there is no need to evolve at all? Some people speculated that afterwards, people felt extremely shocked. This dragon transformation pond is not really about asking all living beings to transform into dragons, but it is an evolved way of addressing them. Its purpose is to stimulate the blood of living beings with rune essence, strengthen their physique, and purify them to a new level, just like the transformation of scale-armored creatures into dragons, hence the name. The sky-high essences intertwined and surged around Qin Feng, but he could not absorb it at all. Qin Feng had no choice but to wave at Longma, Zhou Qing'er, Lin Ziyi, Xin Yao, Xin Yuding, and Wang Shui. Since he could not absorb it, he could only give it to them. Zhou Qing'er and the others entered the dragon transformation pool in the second batch. All these fortunes were given to them by Qin Feng. As they entered the dragon transformation pool, the brilliant essences gathered on their bodies. Among them, the most sacred was the divine beast Longma. The extremely brilliant light danced on Longma's body, its scales became deeper, and the long horsetail behind it actually had the appearance of transforming into a dragon's tail. Longma was undergoing a brilliant evolution, and its cultivation began to impact the Lingtai realm. Boom, boom, boom. Until the sound of the shackles breaking, the dragon horse's cultivation remained at the 5th level of the spiritual platform. And with its qualifications as a divine beast, even the cultivators who have entered the holy realm are not its opponents. At this moment, the dragon horse in the dragon transformation pool has a dazzling light flowing through its body, and its scales have a metallic luster, which is extremely sacred. Roar! The vast dragon power flows in the dragon transformation pool and instantly spreads to the small world. In the small world, some monsters near the dragon transformation pool are instantly terrified and kneel on the ground, as if facing a god. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 104. Roar. The dragons and horses roared. The roaring sound circulated between the heaven and the earth, and the entire Hualong pond boiled. Dragon tails spread out between the sky and the earth, and a red-gold divine dragon surged and rolled in the dragon transformation pond, blooming with boundless power. The dragon horse transformed into a divine dragon, exuding overwhelming dragon power. The aura of a superior person spread, looking in all directions, sweeping across the world. What a terrible sound, the dragon blood of that dragon horse has revived. Why am I shaking? Want to surrender? The 3 pairs of monks were all horrified to death. The roar of the dragon and horse shook the sky and the earth, making it unbearable for them to bear the surge of thoughts in their hearts. This is the tremor of the soul when mortals face the fear of gods. This comes from the pressure deep in the blood of the soul, making people unable to resist. Ordinary. Sometimes, the monks couldn't bear it, and kowtowing in front of that dragon was like facing a god. Dragon bloodline, extremely noble status, it is a great honor to meet you. The saint-level disciple looked extremely excited and had a sincere look on his face. There is no way, he has the energy and blood of the collateral dragon clan in his blood. This is the vibrating intention in the soul, which belongs to the suppression of the inferior by the superior. Except for Qin Feng, no one in the Hualong pond was aware of what happened outside the field, because they were also undergoing a brilliant evolution at this moment. The pores around their bodies were dilated and they were full of energy. The essence in the dragon transformation pond gathered towards them. The auras of several people were rising, and the chi and blood around their bodies had become countless times richer, displaying astonishing changes. Their bodies became radiant, and their essences were steaming like flames. Countless essences were like tangible substances, gathering towards their bodies, and the rays of light shone everywhere. Zhou Qing'er was rising and falling in the Hualong Pond. She was like a fairy descending from the 9 heavens. Rays of brilliance flowed around her. Her blood was evolving, her body was expelling impurities, and her aura was rising. Soon after, Zhou Qing'er's body became smooth and lustrous, and her brilliant evolution was at the stage of the spiritual stage. Not only that, the small leather whip, a rare weapon that Qin Feng had given her before, had also completed its transformation and fit her perfectly. She turned her head and looked at Qin Feng's face. Her eyes were as charming as silk, and she looked like a little queen holding a whip. This brilliant evolution lasted for less than half an hour. During this period, Qin Feng had been paying close attention to their changes, fearing that they would have accidents. It was obvious that Qin Feng was overly worried, as there were no side effects in the dragon transformation pond. The only thing that makes Qin Feng regretful is that the dragon transformation pool he fought has no effect on himself. Qin Feng's eyes were full of suspicion as he walked through the dragon transformation pond. Gradually, Qin Feng discovered the clues. This Hualong Pond was a large formation. Qin Feng's golden eyes looked through the dragon transformation pond and looked at it carefully. Finally, he saw a clue in this dragon transformation pond. At the bottom of Hualong Pond, there are runes intertwined. Brush. Qin Feng's Pangu bloodline shook, and he instantly understood what was going on here. Buzz. Qin Feng thought, the dragon energy gathered here, and a rune appeared in his palm. As the runes appeared, the dragon transformation pond began to shake, alarming everyone inside who was undergoing brilliant evolution. Everyone flew into the sky and stared at this place in mid-air. At this time, their bodies were crystal clear, their physiques were plump, and their souls were crystal clear. They had reached a very powerful level. Xian Yao successfully entered the realm of sainthood, while Wang Shui and Xian Yuding stood at the 3rd stage of sainthood. The dragon horse has become the 5th stage divine beast of the Lingtai, while Lin Ziyi and Zhou Qing'er are both in the 3rd stage of the Lingtai. Boom! The sky shook and the earth shook, and the entire Hualong Pond suddenly erupted with a huge roar. Then, the mountains and rivers surrounding Hualong Pond began to level up, and in an instant, they collapsed into ruins. In the small world, the Hualong Pond where heaven and earth were born collapsed, which immediately shocked everyone. What happened? What exactly is going on? Can the natural dragon pool also collapse? Countless people were in shock. The Hualong Pond suddenly collapsed, which had a huge impact on them. Although Qin Feng and the others have gone through the transformation of Hualong Pond, the remaining essence is enough for them to transform. However, at this time, the Hualong Pond collapsed, and all their expectations were in vain, which was difficult for them to accept. They broke into the small world to search for treasures, and found the Hualong Pond on the 2nd level. This was the key to giving birth to an invincible system and the most powerful gift of this small world. All the saint-level monks had their eyes red, feeling that their opportunity had been ruined. They were trembling all over, and this feeling made them very uncomfortable. They have long forgotten that they have never owned this Hualong Pond. How was it ever an opportunity for them? Qin Feng frowned slightly. He was suspended in mid-air, and there was a dragon talisman intertwined in his palm. This dragon talisman is the key to the dragon transformation pond. This so-called Hualong Pond turned out to be the formation created by the owner of this small world. It turns out that Hualong Pond can be built artificially. Qin Feng understood in his heart that if one practiced the art of formation to an extremely deep level, he could change the terrain of mountains and rivers and create innate formations. Brush. Qin Feng's mind moved, and the dragon talisman he mastered emitted a sky-high light, and then a dragon appeared between heaven and earth and danced. Boom! A huge rock as big as a hill in the distance was hit by the dragon energy from the dragon talisman, and instantly turned into flying ash, and smoke and dust filled the air. At this time, a dragon talisman appeared between Qin Feng's eyebrows, and as his mind moved, it gradually disappeared under his skin. Ding, congratulations, remember to obtain the dragon talisman and find the door to the third floor. The system's voice sounded, and in front of Qin Feng, a team of portals appeared in the void. Qin Feng's eyes emitted a golden beam of light, looking at the portal. There was endless fire in the door, and it was very likely that there was a real great opportunity for this small world. The original small world still hides the third floor. Could it be that the key to the third floor is actually in that dragon pool? The corners of the mouths of the three pairs of cultivators trembled wildly. Qin Feng was too evil, and his luck was too against the sky. Qin Feng smiled. The dragon symbol of the dragon transformation pool was actually the key to the third level of the small world. This was really interesting. This formation born from heaven and earth could make people evolve brilliantly. I'm afraid no one would destroy it. But if the dragon transformation pool is not destroyed, there will be no key to the third level. The person who built this small world is really a one-shot man. This portal is covered with restrictions, and ordinary people can't open it, but this can't stop Qin Feng. As Qin Feng broke the formation restrictions, a strong momentum spread. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 105. The vast divine power spreads out from the third level of the small world, making people feel awe-inspiring. They felt the power spreading from the third level of the small world, and they were all shocked. Brush. Qin Feng suddenly took action and captured a monster beast in the distance. He searched the monster's sea of consciousness and learned that the king of Huayun's small world was on the third floor. As for who the king of the small world is, with the ignorant knowledge of that monster beast, he has no idea. Qin Feng waved to Zhou Qing'er and the others and said, "You guys wait here, I'll go up and take a look." Afterwards, Qin Feng used strong coercion to intimidate the surrounding monks and said, "When I enter the third level, you'd better not move around, otherwise I will definitely drive you away and kill you when I come back." Qin Feng's eyes showed a cold sandy look. With the speed of Longma, he was not afraid of the opponent at all. At the same time, Qin Feng privately conveyed that if Zhou Qing'er was in danger, let Longma immediately take them to the end of the small world at top speed and hibernate, waiting for him to appear. Some of the surrounding monks who had entered the Holy Realm were threatened, and they were naturally dissatisfied. Some people sneered in their hearts, looking forward to Qin Feng's death in the third level small world. Brush. Qin Feng stepped on the 1,000 miles of magic and instantly entered the third level of the small world. Entering the third level of the small world, you will see a red color and the smell of sulfur everywhere. The fire spirit is rolling all over the sky, the clouds are shining, and the flames turn into spirits and are boiling. Qin Feng saw countless elves transformed from flames on the third level of the small world. Fire crow, fire loon, fire fox, etc., these are all tangible manifestations of divine fire, similar to Qin Feng's Suzaku divine form. Qin Feng's body is surrounded by streaks of Suzaku divine fire. He is like a god of fire descending to earth and walking in the small world. 3 minutes passed, and Qin Feng reached the end of the third floor of the small world. He saw an altar. Qin Feng's eyes lit up. There must be something special in the altar on the third floor of this small world. As Qin Feng stepped out, he came to the altar and climbed up the steps. When Qin Feng saw clearly the situation on the altar, he couldn't help but froze. On the altar, there was a beautiful girl. The beautiful girl has long fiery red hair, scattered on her chest and back. She has no hair, and her skin is white and delicate, giving people a very hot feeling. Qin Feng felt a trace of divinity in the girl's body. She didn't know she was still alive, and she was still not a human being. Who could such a beauty be? Qin Feng was shocked. A golden beam of light emitted from his eyes, and his fiery eyes saw through it. The other party's cultivation is at the 5th stage of sainthood, but considering that the other party is probably not a human, Qin Feng feels that her strength can be doubled. Who? Suddenly, the woman who was sitting cross-legged and meditating opened her eyes, and the pupils in her eyes turned out to be in the shape of flames. "Excuse me, I'm passing by." Qin Feng chuckled. He never thought that this red-haired woman's spiritual sense would be so keen. "Nonsense!" The red-haired woman shouted lowly, and then slapped a palm in the air, and a powerful flame palm wind suddenly surged out. "Just kidding, this is the third floor of the small world. It is impossible to enter without a key." The other party actually said that he was passing by. What a fool! Crack! Qin Feng reacted quickly, and he also fired a flame palm to block the blow. In an instant, flames surged between the two, and a whirlwind of divine fire blew up. Qin Feng had a look of helplessness on his face. He was really in trouble. Who knew that this woman with the hot figure was not wearing any clothes? Seeing that her palm did not cause any harm to the other party, a trace of surprise flashed in the red-haired woman's eyes. Suddenly, she thought of something and asked, "Have you got the key to the small world? Are you talking about this dragon talisman?" Qin Feng waved his hand, and a dragon-shaped rune appeared in his palm, blooming with traces of dragon power. "Yes, so you are my master." Seeing the dragon talisman in Qin Feng's palm, the red-haired beauty lowered her head reluctantly. "Huh? What master?" Qin Feng looked confused. Could it be that he got the dragon talisman and became the master of this small world? Being able to obtain the dragon talisman means that you are recognized by Huayun's small world. Then the entire small world, including me, now belongs to you, the master. At the end of the sentence, the red-haired woman's face turned slightly red. She suddenly realized that she was wearing nothing and felt a little embarrassed. "So that's it?" Qin Feng looked straight at the red-haired beauty and nodded. He got a maid for nothing, which was quite a deal. "If you want to be my master, you can't just rely on chance, you have to be strong." Suddenly, the red-haired woman said again that the previous man was only at the 7th stage of the spiritual platform. To be honest, he was not qualified to be her master. "Powerful, I don't know what kind of power you are talking about." Qin Feng looked at the other party with evil intentions. "You gangster." The pretty face of the red-haired woman turned red instantly, and she was so charming and charming. Qin Feng thinks this girl is quite funny. She seems to be inhuman and a bit naive. Of course it means powerful. The red-haired woman was dissatisfied, and the fire in her eyes became stronger. "So I want to beat you." "That's right." "Okay, I'm in a hurry, let's get started." After Qin Feng's words fell, the divine form of the Suzaku was intertwined on his body. "Call out." A violent sound broke through the air, and the Suzaku divine form turned into a stream of light, carrying a series of after-images and blasting towards the red-haired woman. The next moment, the red-haired woman's body emitted a bright light, and a strange and familiar wave erupted. Boom! When the Suzaku divine form hit the red-haired woman, the entire third floor of the small world was shaken and trembled. She was completely overtaken. A Suzaku? Interesting. Qin Feng always looked at the other party with interest. The other party's extremely perfect and enchanting figure made him very calm. At this moment, the red-haired woman's perfect figure was clearly visible, and her entire body was very attractive. What a pity! If only you were a human being. With such a beautiful girl in front of him, any man would be tempted, but she is not a human being, which makes Qin Feng a little regretful. "You are not human, and your whole family is not human," the red-haired beauty still said unhappily. She was so angry that her hair was about to explode. "What, are you a human?" Qin Feng couldn't believe it. He clearly felt the breath of the sacred beast Suzaku from the other party. How could the other party be a person? "I am a saint of the Suzaku clan, a genuine person." Suzaku said dissatisfiedly. She gritted her teeth and was very unhappy. "It's genuine, how real is it?" Qin Feng asked suspiciously, how could the mythical beast Suzaku be a human being? Look, if you don't believe me. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 106. Qin Feng has a weird look on his face, can you tell? So how do you look to see it? Also, if what the other party said is true, why is the saint of the Suzaku tribe here? The Suzaku saint was very heroic. She came to Qin Feng, stared at him at close range with her fiery red eyes, and said, well, look at it, what's not human about her? Well, it doesn't look like anything at all. Qin Feng said with some guilt that the other party was so good looking and so close, which was very problematic. Why? The Suzaku saint was very strange. She turned around in a circle, her long red hair dancing gently, and the spring light suddenly appeared. Your hair is too red, humans don't have such a color. This is the reason for practicing Kung Fu. Your legs are too wide, too straight, and have no fat on them. This is the golden ratio, the perfect figure. Humans rarely have such a golden proportion of body. That's because I was born perfect. Human skin is not fireproof. Aren't you also afraid of fire? My situation is quite special. Anyway, you are just not human. You are not a human being, I am a human being. Does a monster feel like this? If you don't believe me, can you touch it? The Suzaku saint said angrily, with her perfect figure in golden proportions and skin as smooth as cream, she was like a fairy descending to earth. Okay. How could she not be a human being? I believe it. Qin Feng quickly admitted that he was a gentleman, how could he touch her? This girl was too perverted, and it would not be good if she continued to tease her. Our ancestors are human beings. My father and mother are all human beings. Oh. Qin Feng nodded. There was indeed the breath of Suzaku in the other party's body, which was the same as the Suzaku divine form he had cultivated. Brush. Seeing that the other party still didn't believe it, the Suzaku saint said nothing. She leaned directly on Qin Feng's body, and the two balls pressed against Qin Feng's body, which was very warm. This touch is really like a human being, because Qin Feng has felt it on his little apprentice. The other person's breath is hot, but the smell of his body is very good, and the fragrance of virginity reaches his mouth and nose. Moreover, the red hair of the Suzaku saint, blown by the firelight of the small world, tickled the tip of Qin Feng's nose. Qin Feng touched his nose, and he could tell that the Suzaku saint seemed a little too innocent. Beauty, even if what you say is true, since you are a saint of the Suzaku clan, why are you on the third level of the small world? Qin Feng asked in confusion. This saint girl of the Suzaku clan was obviously on the third floor from the beginning. How could it be that the opponent's formation attainments are also very high and powerful, and he broke through the formation and came here before Huoyun's small world appeared? This small world is the cave of an ancestor of my Suzaku clan. I accidentally found the token to enter the Sutra Pavilion in the Holy Land and was transported to the third floor of this small world. The Suzaku saint explained that when she entered the third level of the small world, a huge will came to tell her about the various things in the small world. So that's it? Qin Feng suddenly realized, then why do you call me master? That was an accident. The will of the small world told me that I could only leave if I completely mastered this small world. When I refined the origin of the small world, I learned that in order to open the door to the third level of the small world, I must find Dragon Talisman, but I have been waiting for 5 or 6 years, but no one has come, so I swear, as long as someone can bring the Dragon Talisman to open the portal on the third floor, even if I recognize him as the master. Tisk, tisk, is it so miserable? Qin Feng suddenly sympathized with the Suzaku saint. She was really in trouble. It seemed that the other party had been thinking about this matter, so when he found the dragon talisman and opened the portal to the third level of the small world, the Suzaku Saint blurted out. Wait, what did the little girl mean by attacking herself just now? You can open the door to the small world. I thought you were very powerful. Who knew you were so weak? The voice of the Suzaku Saint was very low, but she could hear a lot of disgust. It makes me feel aggrieved to have a Suzaku Saint, who has attained the 5th level of sainthood, to recognize a little man with a 7th level aura as her master. This leftover girl actually dared to do this to herself. Qinfen decided not to spoil her, so he said, "Can you put on your clothes first?" Brush. The face of the Suzaku Saint turned red. She hesitated and said, "The skills of our family can evolve brilliantly in the fire source of this small world. When I came in, my clothes were instantly wiped out. Qi transformation, in order not to hinder the flow of true energy, I practice here naked." Qinfen looked at the Suzaku Saint and said, "I understand the truth, so can you put on your clothes first?" I have nothing to wear." "Oh, then beg me, and I will give it to you, he 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 he." Qinfen had a bad smile on his face. "What's the big deal? Your clothes will be gone in a while anyway," the Suzaku Saint said angrily. She was very unhappy when she saw the guy who was about to become her master with a bad smile on his face. "I'm just kidding. My Suzaku divine form is so amazing. How could a mere flame damage my clothes?" Qinfen is extremely confident. His Suzaku divine form has reached its peak. Ordinary flames can't break his body protecting chi or burn his clothes. Buzz. At this moment, the third layer of the small world suddenly surged with violent flames. The next moment, on the altar where the Suzaku Saint once sat cross-legged, bursts of divine light surged. The divine light instantly rioted, and a divine fire whirlwind swept through this small world. Then, Qinfen found himself in a tragedy. His clothes were actually burned into ashes by the flames. The only earth-grade armor covered his upper body, and the atmosphere was a little awkward for a while. Qinfen learned his lesson. He did not take out clothes from the storage ring to cover his body immediately. Although his physique could stop such a divine fire, his clothes seemed unable to withstand it. The temperature of this divine fire was very high. In order to cover up his embarrassment, Qinfen smiled unnaturally. The Suzaku Saint opposite subconsciously looked at a certain part of someone, turned her head away, at. Qinfen gritted his teeth. He turned around and didn't look at the Suzaku Saint because it was too embarrassing. A man and a woman are alone in a small secret place. If it were some books, some interesting things might happen. Ding. At this moment, the system sounded, and Qinfen immediately became uneasy. A platinum light spot appeared on the scratch card radar in his mind, and that location was behind the altar. The platinum scratch card, that is a good thing, Qinfen didn't want to let it go. So, he opened his eyes, resisted the huge temptation, passed the Suzaku Saint, and came to the altar. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 107. Don't get close to there. Suddenly, the Suzaku Saint cried out loudly. She saw Qinfen walking up to the altar and hurriedly stopped him. Unfortunately, it was too late, because Qinfen had already arrived at the altar and looked behind him. What's wrong? Qinfen looked back and found that the Suzaku Saint had an extremely frightened expression. Is there danger behind the altar? Qinfen was startled. He turned his head and saw the source of the Suzaku Saint's fear. Just to the right rear of the altar, there was a lake formed by fire essence. In that small lake, there lay a terrifying creature, a fire unicorn, with a great momentum of soaring into the sky all over its body, and a pair of ancestral dragon horns on its head, emitting brilliant divine light. Another fire unicorn. And this fire unicorn is obviously more powerful and more sacred than the one seen from the outside world. Even the Suzaku Saint's aura of entering the fifth stage of the Holy Realm cannot be compared with this fire unicorn. Qin Feng was very suspicious that this fire Kylin was probably in the transformation realm. A divine beast in the transformation realm, just thinking about it was terrifying. At this time, Qin Feng suddenly remembered that when he was about to enter the third level of the small world, he learned from the sea of consciousness of the demon beast that the king of the small world was in the third level. Qin Feng had forgotten about this because he met the Holy Lady of Vermilion Bird. Until now, he suddenly remembered. Where is the platinum scratch card? Qin Feng was a little panicked and a little excited. This feeling was very tiring, and there was an inexplicable pleasure. Damn, isn't this a scam? Qin Feng was speechless. The platinum scratch card was in the lake where the fire Kylin was. Forget it, I don't want it. Qin Feng was very decisive. If he went to pick up the scratch card, he would definitely alarm the fire Kylin. Pangu's big foot couldn't be used, so for safety reasons, he didn't want it. Of course, Qin Feng didn't climb the fire Kirin, but he felt it was too troublesome. Anyway, he believed the explanation of Zhefa. Ding, because the host is too cowardly, a platinum scratch card will be randomly refreshed. Qin Feng. This system is despising itself. Qin Feng was indignant, this system is so humane. Another platinum light spot appeared on the radar in his mind, and Qin Feng immediately moved to pick it up. This. Qin Feng's expression was very strange. This position was a bit awkward. The platinum scratch card actually appeared at the feet of the Suzaku Saint, and was stepped on by her. I'm convinced. Qin Feng muttered. He came to the side of the Suzaku Saint. The girl looked at Qin Feng's squinting eyes, very alert. What do you want to do? Suzaku Saint asked. She had no intention of moving. Beauty, please make way, you stepped on my things. Suzaku Saint was suspicious, she could feel that there was nothing under her feet. Seeing Qin Feng squatting down and seeming to want to kiss her jade feet, the face of the Suzaku Saint turned red. Don't mess around. I'm very strong. Qin Feng didn't react to this, he immediately picked up the platinum scratch card. Look, I just picked up something, are you making a fuss? Qin Feng raised the platinum scratch card in his hand, and he scratched it without caring whether the other party in the 9 realms could see it or not. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully using the platinum scratch card, and reward a low-grade earth-grade dead swimsuit. This. Qin Feng was confused, what is this? He remembered that this thing was a swimsuit from a certain island country, and the system could even reward this, which was really unique. Suzaku Saint saw in confusion that Qin Feng seemed to have an extra piece of strange clothes in his hand, but there was nothing just now. Qin Feng was stunned. If this dead swimsuit was a low-grade earth-grade one, he couldn't wear it, otherwise if he wore it outside, he would be regarded as a pervert. The face of the Suzaku Saint was full of doubts. The clothes in Qin Feng's hand were not damaged at all under the calcination of the divine fire. This is a good thing. The Suzaku Saint is a proud daughter of heaven. She has not seen many clothes that can defend against the divine fire. This shadow puppet owner seems to have something. Master, can your clothes be fireproof? The Suzaku Saint asked hopefully. She didn't know how to ask. She couldn't just ask for it directly, right? The little man only wore a sword upper body armor, and he didn't wear anything in his next life. Would the other party give it to him? No matter how you think about it, it seems impossible. This is a treasured garment of the lower grade of the earth, called dead water. Qin Feng wanted to put it in his arms and wear it for his little apprentice when he went out, but he changed his mind and thought, would his little apprentice have any strange ideas? Tsukumizu, what a strange name, is it for protection? The Suzaku Saint opened her mouth wide, her face full of disbelief. This was the first time she heard the name Tsukumizu, and it was a ground-level protective treasure. No, it was originally worn for swimming. Qin Feng said lightly. In the previous life, it was used for swimming, but here it was blessed by the system, and it was a treasure for protection. Of course, it couldn't protect long legs. Is this really a ground-level treasure? The Suzaku saint felt unbelievable. Isn't swimming only done when there is no one around? Do you still need to wear clothes? How could I lie to you? If you put on this swimsuit, your defense will definitely increase greatly. The divine fire of the third layer of this small world will not burn your clothes, and you don't have to worry about exposing your spring light. The Suzaku saint's heart moved. It was rare to see a treasured garment of the earth grade. In order to get rid of her current shameful appearance, she decided to fight for it. Master, I want this swimsuit. The Suzaku saint's eyes were as charming as silk. She was tangled in her heart and said shamelessly. Take it. Qin Feng smiled slightly, and he raised his hand to throw the swimsuit to the Suzaku saint. The Suzaku saint's face was blushing. She caught the swimsuit and put it on in front of Qin Feng. This. The Suzaku saint was surprised. This swimsuit was indeed worn for swimming. Her eyes were full of disbelief. This little man was really full of bad water. At this time, the Suzaku saint had a perfect figure. She was barefoot, and there was a faint fire around her body. She looked very beautiful as if she was swimming in a red ocean. Puff. Qin Feng was very disappointed and a little agitated. A burst of evil fire rushed out of his nose. This was too cute. The Suzaku saint was full of suspicion. This sword treasure clothing could indeed block the divine fire of the third layer of the small world. The other party did not lie to her. But why did the other party's expression look so strange? Hey, master, what's wrong with you? Ah, nothing, you look too much like an acquaintance of mine in this outfit. Qin Feng subconsciously wiped the saliva from the corner of his mouth. Because he was too excited and missed too much, tears flowed from the corner of his mouth. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 108. The Suzaku saint was suspicious for a while. The other party was telling lies with her eyes open. This precious garment doesn't cover the body, so the other party must be thinking about very obscene things. Buzz. Suddenly, there was a strange movement on the second floor of the small world, and there was a shaking near the altar on the third floor of the small world. Oops. Broken. The voices of Qin Feng and the Suzaku saint rang out almost at the same time, and the two of them instantly looked towards the lake formed by the fire essence. The fire essence was rolling in the lake, and Huo Kailan, who was sleeping with his eyes closed, opened his eyes. I saw the fire unicorn stretching its limbs, its mouth wide open, and stretching. Then, golden eyes swept towards Qin Feng and the two of them, without any emotion. Let's evacuate the third floor of the small world first. Qin Feng was shocked and shouted hurriedly. At the same time, he teleported with his feet, grabbed the smooth arm of the Suzaku saint, and teleported to the exit of the third floor of the small world. Brush. Qin Feng took out two pieces of clothing from his storage space. He put one on himself and the other on the Suzaku saint. He only wished he could appreciate the beauty of the Suzaku saint. As the two people appeared on the second level of the small world, Qin Feng's powerful soul instantly saw Long Ma, Zhou Qing and others. Qin Feng's footsteps sounded mysterious, and he walked thousands of miles on his feet. He grabbed the Suzaku saint and came to the front of several people. At this time, countless masters appeared on the second level of the small world. In the sky, there was a huge golden shadow floating in the sky, covering the sky and the sun. There is an aura of terror spreading, like a mountain, pressing on people's hearts, making it difficult to resist. This is the culprit that makes the second level of the small world shake. Just this kind of terrifying pressure, Ordinary monks cannot bear it. A golden beam of light shone from Qin Feng's eyes. He looked at the strong man with a look of horror on his face. This being was probably able to compete with the Fire Kylin King. Who is he? Qin Feng was very calm. He was on full alert and asked Xian Yuding and others on the side. The true king of the Luo Mountains, the master of the Sword King Fire Blade, King Daipen. In the sky, majestic pressure surged, making it unbearable. Some low-level monks were shocked and wanted to kneel down and worship. King Daipen is so terrifying. The descendant of the legendary golden-winged Daipen has powerful energy and blood in his body. Meet King Daipen. I've seen King Daipen. The Daipen King will last forever. Some monks on the second level of the small world kowtowed one after another, including the 3 teams of monks. Except for Qin Feng and the others, no one dared to resist, and the monks all surrendered to the power of King Daipen. Whoosh! King Daipen came to Qin Feng and they were unwilling to blow. He turned into a human form, wearing a golden feather. His whole person was sacred and powerful, exuding a lot of arrogance. King Daipen just waved his hand casually, and the monks around him stood up one after another as if they were being pardoned. Where is Blade? King Daipen glanced around. He felt the aura of his precious apprentice on the second floor, but he couldn't see anyone. That's right. Suddenly, King Daipen saw a figure lying in the ditch. With a thought, he instantly appeared on the edge of the collapsed Hualong Pond. Blade. Who did it? Endless murderous auras spread out from King Daipen's body, instantly making people feel as if they were falling into an ice cave, making them tremble uncontrollably. King Daipen's cultivation is unfathomable, and his whole body is full of terrifying aura, which is intimidating. It was him, he did it. The surrounding monks were shocked. Some monks directly identified Qin Feng. Qin Feng was so arrogant and had already made them resentful. At this time, except for King Daipen, they were not afraid of Qin Feng, and there was joy in their eyes. No matter how strong Qin Feng is, facing Daipen King, he is absolutely incompetent. With one hand from the Tao Kingdom, Qin Feng can be crushed to death. When Qin Feng saw King Daipen, he felt frightened. He immediately informed Long Ma and others to get ready. When the monk identified Qin Feng, everyone was well prepared. Following Qin Feng's order, the dragon and horse turned into a stream of light and led everyone to escape to the exit of the first floor. The Suzaku Saint was with Qin Feng, and they did not move. If Qin Feng escaped, the Daipen King would definitely catch up. It's you. The golden eyes of the Daipen King flowed with murderous intent, and there was a powerful oppressive aura that made people feel like a ray of light on their backs. Yes, it's me. Qin Feng's face showed a warm smile, looking confident. Everyone was speechless. The other party actually admitted it directly and didn't run away. He was indeed a fool. Okay, you're fine. King Daipen was shaking with anger. This arrogant boy killed his apprentice and still stood arrogantly in front of him. He didn't kneel down and kowtow to beg for mercy. This made him very angry. Big Bird, if you don't accept it, come and try. Qin Feng smiled slightly, with his hands behind his back, extremely enigmatic, and his clothes did not look down on King Daipen at all. Hearing Qin Feng's words, the Suzaku Saint was a little speechless. This little man was also showing off. He was only at the 7th level of Lingtai, but King Daipen didn't take him seriously. Others present were confused. Big Bird? Damn it, calling King Daipen a big bird, isn't this looking for death? Qin Feng, how dare you be so disrespectful in the face of King Daipen, you just don't know how to live or die. Hurry up and kneel down to apologize to King Daipen. Maybe King Daipen will leave a whole body of yours. Some monks scolded, with Qin Feng's strength in the 7th stage of the Lingtai, he was so disrespectful to King Daipen. Aren't you afraid of dying without a burial place? Everyone's faces were filled with disbelief. Qin Feng's certainty of victory made them suspicious. Could it be that the opponent still has some tricks to keep the bottom of the box when facing the Daipen King? Shut up and don't talk trash about you. Even if it's that big bird, I can slap it to death. Qin Feng said fiercely. The Daipen King in front of him always gave him a very dangerous feeling. Hey, girl, how confident are you if you face this big bird? Qin Feng asked the Suzaku saint on the side. This girl belongs to the Suzaku clan. She is very powerful. He wonders if she has the strength to fight against the great Sky King. I have the confidence to escape. The Suzaku saint said calmly. She said the words escape with great confidence, and she had no intention of starting a fight with the other party. There is no way. The other party is in the realm of transformation, and the awareness of several realms is not something that can be equalized by the talisman and courage. Tisk, tisk, it turns out you can't do it. Qin Feng said with a tone of assurance of victory. You sound like you have the ability to kill a big bird. The Suzaku saint curled her lips. The other person is even worse than herself. How did you get the confidence to look down on yourself? Of course I have the ability to kill this big bird. The Suzaku saint asked. How to kill? Drive out the wolf and devour the tiger. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 109. Driving the wolf to devour the tiger? Then how to devour it? The Suzaku saint is suspicious that King Daipen is a powerful person in the realm of gods, although to the Suzaku clan, he is just a little shrimp. However, on the second level of this small world, absolutely no one is the opponent of King Daipen. Of course you have to provoke the other person first. A smile appeared on Qin Feng's lips. King Daipen was powerful and the leader of the Liwo Mountains. Perhaps no one in the Liwo Mountains could challenge him. However, you are not invincible in this small world, because there is also a king here. Boy, I have decided to crush you to ashes to relieve the hatred in my heart. A low roar came from King Daipen's mouth. The fire blade was its apprentice, leading a mountain by itself, and its future was limitless. However, the disciple he had worked so hard to train was actually killed by this hateful boy in front of him, which made him immediately murderous. Big bird, I've decided to roast you later. I think the chicken wings will be delicious. Qin Feng teased lightly. He was floating in the air with his hands behind his back, not paying attention at all. Hiss. Everyone around him took a breath. Qin Feng's tone was too loud and his courage was too crazy. He actually regarded King Daipen as a wild game and roasted his wings. He really took the heart of a bear and the courage of a leopard. Call out. King Daipen was extremely frightened and furious. He waved his paw forward. Suddenly, a golden paw print appeared in the void. King Daipen took action to kill Qin Feng with his own hands and avenge his apprentice. Brush. Qin Feng had been staring at the movements of King Daipen for a long time. When King Daipen was about to take action, Qin Feng stepped on the 1,000 miles walk, grabbed the arm of the Suzaku saint, and moved instantly. Chi. The void trembled, and King Daipen's claws came to kill, directly hitting the afterimages of Qin Feng and the two of them. There was a harsh roar in the void, and the powerful energy struck the air, hitting the ground instantly. A huge pit appeared on the ground, filled with smoke and dust, and rocks flying. His attack actually missed, which made King Daipen's eyes very cold. A terrifying aura bloomed around him, and a whirlwind surged behind him. The next moment, the figure of King Daipen disappeared on the spot, and then appeared behind Qin Feng and the Suzaku saint. Both of them were shocked, with surprise written all over their faces. They didn't expect the speed of the Daipen King to be so frightening. Qin Feng and the Suzaku saint looked at each other, and in their palms, Two forms of the Suzaku god appeared. The Suzaku divine form spread out endless ultimate intention, making the void become very anxious. Then, two Suzakus spread the divine flames into the sky and rushed towards King Daipen. Boom! King Daipen vibrated the wings behind him, and shot out two cold rays of light from his eyes. He did not hide the anger in his heart at all, and hit the two Suzaku divine forms with all his strength. In the void, golden light shone, and a terrifying aura bloomed, causing a roar in the air, as if the small world was about to collapse in the next moment. The two Suzaku divine forms collapsed in an instant, spreading out boundless fire and sweeping towards King Daipen. This is the ultimate intention of the divine beast's divine flame. When the two meet, an additional layer appears. Although it cannot kill Daipen King, it is not easy for it. King Daipen's hair was a little curled by the burn, and the golden feathers were a little burnt. It finally destroyed the divine flame, but it was also a little embarrassed. At this time, King Daipen's expression became even more gloomy. As the overlord of the party and a divine beast in the realm of gods, it actually failed repeatedly, which made it very embarrassed. At this time, Qin Feng and the Suzaku Saint stood at the entrance to the third level of the small world. Sparrow, if you dare to follow me, I will kill you with one hand. Qin Feng cast a provocative look, took the hand of the Suzaku Saint, and entered the third level of the small world. Snort. King Daipen snorted coldly. With its current strength and status, it would naturally not take the other party seriously. The other party's Lingtai 7th stage dared to enter the third level of the small world, why didn't it dare? King Daipen's steps were mysterious, and he arrived at the entrance of the third level of the small world in an instant, and then he strode in. Entering the third level of the small world, the sky is filled with fire, and there are waves of coercion in the air, but it cannot break the protective aura of King Daipen. Qin Feng winked at the Vermilion Bird Saint, and the Vermilion Bird Saint immediately understood, and she flew directly onto the altar. Qin Feng, on the other hand, looked at King Daipen with a sneer, powerful strength spreading from his body. King Daipen, I'll kill you. Qin Feng shouted loudly, and the magic flowed around his body, shaking the third level of the small world, and almost causing the small world to collapse. Kill. The true form of King Daipen is a branch of an ancient mythical beast. It is extremely powerful. When faced with the opponent's provocation, its pupils are filled with murderous intent. Crack. King Daipen slapped his palm forward, and a golden palm print appeared in the void, which was 6 or 7 feet tall. The surging wind from the palm doubled the pressure in the small world. Call out. Qin Feng waved his hand suddenly, and a dragon talisman appeared in his palm. The dragon talisman intertwined with the fire essence in the sky, turned into a dragon, and dived towards King Daipen. Boom! The dragon transformed from the dragon talisman collided with the palm of King Jinpeng, and the energy boiled for a moment and surged all over the sky. The third level of the small world surged violently, spreading out ripples one after another. On the second level of the small world, countless monks felt the bursts of extreme intention spreading in the sky, and they were all frightened. That fierce momentum and fierce pressure made them tremble. The great Peng King is mighty. The great Peng King's strength is indeed unfathomable. Some cultivators exclaimed, such a terrifying might, no one here can resist. With the cultivation of the great Peng King, he can actually perform such a powerful move. This Qin Feng is indeed talented, but it's a pity that he is facing the great Peng King. The great Peng King is invincible, Qin Feng has no chance. Countless cultivators felt the pressure from the sky and talked about it. Qin Feng's end would definitely be extremely miserable, and there would be no surprises. At this moment, the third layer of the small world suddenly shook violently, spreading boundless might. This might shocked the cultivators on the second layer of the small world, and they were all shocked. Because the power spread from the third layer of the small world was too strong, which made people have to re-examine Qin Feng's strength. Qin Feng could actually fight the Daipen King so hard. How is this possible? Everyone's pupils were shrinking violently. They didn't understand how Qin Feng, who ran to the third level of the small world, could be so powerful. At this moment, Qin Feng and the Suzaku Saint, their bodies were radiating rays of light, and both of them were extremely fast. Qin Feng stepped on the 1,000 miles divine travel and instantly distanced himself from the Daipen King. And the Suzaku Saint, with blazing flames flying around her body, she also hid far away. In the lake of fire essence, the Kailan King, who had just fallen asleep, opened his eyes again. Being disturbed from sleep repeatedly made him extremely angry, and he spread out a compelling pressure. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbs feed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 110. On the third level of the small world, in the lake formed by the fire essence, the Kailan King floated into the sky. With terrifying eyes, he looked at the intruder on the third floor. Golden fires spread out from the mountain one after another, and the overwhelming momentum swept across, staring at King Daipen. King Daipen is a master in the realm of gods, and can pose a threat to King Kailan. The two top kings took action in an instant. They were crisscrossing the sky, shaking the third level of the small world, and the dangerous aura spread. Point to point. Roar. King Kailan roared. It was 7 or 8 meters tall, and a golden lightning shot out of its mouth, hitting King Daipen. Kaka. King Daipen moved instantly, and golden lightning blew up the ground on the spot, creating an extremely terrifying deep pit. King Kailan continued to roar, and lightning struck one after another towards King Daipen with unimaginable power. King Daipen was fearless, bursts of golden light beams flowed out of its claws, and then, the golden lightning was absorbed by its palms. Kill. The Daipen King let out a soft roar, and its palms reflected 2 golden beams of light, which hit the Kailan King. The Kailan King was covered in smoke, and a wisp of electric arc flowed on its scales, and it retreated 3 meters away. Roar. King Kailan roared, leaving a trembling sound on the spot, and took the initiative to attack and kill King Daipen. The mountains here shook and the earth shook, and the rocks collapsed and the clouds collapsed. The eyes of the two powerful men who had entered the holy realm bloomed with fierce light, and the void shook the entire third level of the small world like thunder. Boom. On the second level of the outside world, everyone felt the void shaking violently, and they were all stunned. Some monks could not bear it and knelt on the ground, trembling. How could it be so terrifying? Some people moved away from the Hualong Pond and kept retreating. The sky above the Hualong Pond was distorting violently, and the power spreading out was really powerful. Brush. Suddenly, a ray of fire burst out from the door on the third floor of the small world, instantly hitting some monks not far away, creating a hole hundreds of meters deep in the ground. The rest of the monks were all frightened and kept retreating. If another beam of light was shot out, the consequences would be unpredictable. Boom. The mountains shook and the ground shook. The strength of King Daikong and King Kailan was absolutely unfathomable, and they charged with all their strength. Qin Feng and the remaining girl of Suzaku looked at each other, and they all saw surprise in each other's eyes. If they had made a rash move just now, given their strength, they would probably have perished here. Bang, bang, bang. 2 ferocious beasts and 2 monsters were colliding fiercely, the sound resounded throughout the small world, and the scene was very terrifying. The Kailan King was very powerful. White smoke columns flowed from its mouth and nose, and lightning spread out from its body. However, they were all blocked by the Daipen King. Of course, King Daipen was also extremely uncomfortable. King Kylan went crazy and shocked the world with boundless terror. Later, the true form of the Daepen King appeared. A golden Daepen was flying across the sky, fighting with the Kylan King, which was terrifying. Court death. The Kylan King was shocked and angry. It let out the roar of a human being for the first time. Then, it stood up and used its two front paws to strike with the bright sword light, trying to kill the Daepen King. The more they fought, the more frightened they became, and finally they all used real fire. Finally, the Daepen King succeeded. Its rock claws burst out with dazzling light, tearing the Kylan King's chest, and a large amount of blood poured out. The Kylan King also succeeded, and its front claws fell on the Daepen King with a slash of the sword. One of its wings was stretched out, and the body was seriously injured. The result of this battle was extremely astonishing. Both kings suffered losses. Roar. Kill. Terrifying sound waves exploded like thunder in the small world on the third level. The two kings collided violently, and blood flew everywhere. Scales were torn, feathers were flying, large amounts of blood surged up, ripples spread, and the small world almost collapsed. Bang, bang. The fierce fight caused them to retreat instantly. King Daepen's wings were almost removed and one of his claws was broken. One of the front paws of the Kylan King was also broken, and the bones were exposed. On its chest, there were 5 extremely deep wounds, filled with blood. A smile appeared on Qin Feng's lips. This was the moment he had been waiting for. Although King Kylan and King Daepen were invincible, they were seriously injured in the end. Brush. Qin Feng suddenly rose into the air, and behind him, a 10-hall Yama appeared. Yama turned into a vision of Shura and enveloped Qin Feng's body. It was 10 feet tall, like a Shura approaching the human world. Crack. Qin Feng's palm filled the sky with true energy, and then he smacked it down like a small mountain. This palm has been blessed by the 8 forbidden realms, with 8 times the power superimposed, and its strength has doubled. King Daepen and King Kylan staggered backwards, and they fought back towards the sky with all their strength, trying to intercept them. However, their strength is no longer as strong as before. They have fallen to the stage of entering the Holy Realm and cannot exert half of the power of their heyday. Qin Feng's palm carried boundless power and struck the two of them heavily. There was a loud crackling sound in the void, and King Daepen and King Kylan were directly photographed by Qin Feng. They fell to the ground, blood gushing wildly, all the meridians in their bodies were broken, and they were dying. King Daepen was covered in blood, and it had long lost its arrogance. It was unbelievable that it would end up like this. At this time, Qin Feng teleported to the side of King Kylan and took out the inferior sword of heaven, Shura Divine Phoenix. The Azura Phoenix danced, and Qin Feng decisively swung his sword, killing the Kylan King. In the Kylan King's huge eyes, there was a look of disbelief, and then it died in horror. Qin Feng smiled faintly, his eyes were calm, and he cut off the 2 dragon horns of the Kylan King with a sword. This was a good material for refining weapons, and he would naturally not let it go. At the same time, he took out the Kylan King's demon core and peeled off the Kylan King's skin. Then, he put the Kylan King's blood into a small bottle. After doing all this, Qin Feng came to the front of the Daepen King. He looked calmly at the Daepen King who was so arrogant just now. "Boy, you are shameless, you are cheating and deceiving me." The Daepen King roared, and the whole person's momentum burst out again, wanting to kill Qin Feng. However, it was too seriously injured and could no longer gather its demon power. It was no match for Qin Feng. Qin Feng stepped down heavily, breaking the other claw of King Daepen. Ah! A deafening sound spread out and flowed to the second level of the small world. On the second level of the small world, everyone was startled. This voice was the voice of King Daepen. What happened to King Daepen? Everyone felt a chill in their hearts, and a bad idea surged in their hearts.